that is my 2 cents on it. And I think we're leaning a little bit more towards no now at 54%. So we'll see. We'll come back to that at the end of the show and take a look at it. Now, this is why I do have proof. So a lot of people, might say in this particular case that it's not true. It's not going to bring more people into cryptocurrency. Well, the first case is if we look at Google Analytics. Google searches for how to buy crypto skyrocket as Trump flips the Overton window. So Google data has shown a peak in retail interest in cryptocurrencies as the market gears up for Trump's inauguration speech. And this is obviously following the token. And this is what I'm talking about. The actual interest in cryptocurrency as a whole increases, thereby essentially increasing the viability of crypto, the amount of liquidity in crypto, how many people are putting money into crypto. I think this does relate to an overall ship rising scenario. Like Bitsby Trippin likes to say, a rising tide raises all ships, and that's how I see it. It just is an actual verifiable fact that it is increasing the interest in cryptocurrency, which is, in my opinion, a positive thing. So it says the crypto craze is sweeping the general public as observers said President-elect Donald Trump's decision to debut a meme coin has flipped the Overton window, bringing digital assets to the mainstream. Google Trends, a widely used tool to gauge general or retail interest in trending topics, is currently returning a value of 100 for the worldwide search query, how to buy crypto. This is a good thing. The final figure for the week will be confirmed Saturday. A score of 100 represents peak popularity, the maximum number of searches observed for the query during a given time frame, in this case 5 years. It's a sign that more and more people are scanning the web for information on how to take exposure to cryptocurrencies. Google Trends provides access to a primarily unfiltered sample of search requests made to Google and scales their searches on a range of 0 to 100. According to the company, the search value represents the search interest relative to the highest point on the chart for the selected region and time. And you can see here, if we go back, in the 2021 phase, we're meeting that again. And you can see here, it's eerily similar. Look at the interest here in cryptocurrency, maybe like 2020. And the interest here, riding up to this, and then the big spike. This does indicate to me that we are hitting the bull run. Now, you might not realize it yet, and we're also going to talk about, is the bull run hitting proof of work coins? Because that's going to be relative here. But we are hitting the very start of the bull run. That's what it looks like to me, based off of retail interest. So we are going to obviously talk about the excitement is surrounding Donald Trump. And according to some analysts, Trump's decision to debut his meme coin has flipped the Overton window, meaning what was once considered a fringe has now entered the mainstream. We are on the precipice of a golden age of crypto, another bull run, and everything is stirring back up. We could always also fight and say, well, I don't like it done this way. I don't like that they're doing it this way, and so on and so forth. And I've done that my whole life, and I understand that perspective, and I get it. But it would be silly to not see the reality of what's happening here at the end of the day, which is a huge push in the interest in crypto and one step closer to somebody learning more about proof of work, learning more about crypto as a whole, and learning more about why it's important that you have a decentralized cryptocurrency. And they will probably start learning lessons from Solana too. Let's say you're brand new And you hear, well, I need to get a hardware wallet to hold my Trump token, right? And you go and you buy a hardware wallet, you go through the whole process of setting it up. You're on crypto.com, you figure out how to send it, you go to send it, and it says the Solana network is down. Well, why is the Solana network down? Congestion. Why are all these things happening? And then they'll start to do that research and eventually find all of the different arguments in favor of and against, of course, proof of stake and proof of work. And the more that it is proven out that you have a more reliable network, whatever that may be, and whatever ends up taking hold later on, that will happen. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. I do want to give you guys a quote here. It says from the CTO of Coinbase, Brian. Oh, it's not Brian. Sorry. CTO. There we go. It says, quote, if everything is now legal, many startups will try raising funds by issuing tokens as explicit crypto equity. As a context, the SEC distorted the market for the last decade by forcing founders to obscure the obvious analogy between tokens and equity. But there is nothing morally wrong with moving equity from spreadsheets and NASDAQs to blockchains. And that could be something that we do begin to see, blockchain verifiable stocks, pushing us out of centralized options like Robinhood into something in a decentralized manner that we can trade and buy and sell stocks with a lot less regulation and open up 24/7. Can you imagine if that gets implemented in just the impact of a 24/7 verifiable blockchain for the stock market? It would be absolutely epic and a really good path to go on. Just to give you guys an idea, the Overton window is a theory for understanding how societal ideas change over time and influence politics. It represents the range of subjects and arguments politically acceptable to the mainstream population at a given time. Pseudonymous analyst Trevor.btc said that Trump's meme coin move has set the stage for crypto deregulation in the US. And quote, the Trump meme coin just ripped the Band-Aid off and shifted the Overton window for crypto deregulation in the US. Now's the time to look towards areas of crypto hampered by regulation and shoot first, ask questions later. So I'll tell you guys a little something. I've hired my editor back. And this is my editor from the previous bull run. A huge reason that I had to get rid of the editor was essentially the loss of sponsorships, right? And I wasn't working full time. And secondary to that was that YouTube heavily regulated cryptocurrency ad revenue. Now, we've always had problem with cryptocurrency ads because it can trick people into buying things that are not good for them and so on and so forth. But because of that regulation, a lot of crypto YouTube channels and crypto mining YouTube channels struggled over the past couple of years. And to just fully remove all of them and not provide any sort of ad revenue for cryptocurrency channels was a big hit to the industry as a whole. And a lot of the reason why the talk of cryptocurrency was heavily suppressed just from the loss of being able to financially sustain yourself as a creator. Some people had the option, of course, like myself, of getting a day job. Some people ended up taking bigger sponsorships from different cryptocurrency companies. Some people ran off of affiliates for ASIC miners and so on. Everybody handled it in different ways, but it was a big impact. And what that did obviously was reduce the amount of visibility as a whole that crypto has. A lot of the cryptocurrency channels got a reduction in the amount of push that they had towards their bit larger audiences as well. And so one of the things that deregulation can do is bring back the opportunity for creators to make content and be successful with it and be able to give you more information surrounding cryptocurrency. So I see it as a net positive. I have hired my editor back. He's going to be taking care of all the editing. I'm going to continue to work because that health insurance is so good and so needed, and I enjoy my job. So there's that, but there's a little of a background on that for you. Now, the other positive that's already come out of it, obviously, like we talked about earlier, and we don't have to go too deep into it, but Gary Gensler's gone. So we're already seeing actual backed up proof that we are seeing this Overton window shift. We're seeing, things being put into place that hints at deregulation. So it says passing the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act into law would establish a responsible new regulatory framework that clearly defines the role of the SEC and the CFTC, says Representative Mike Lawler, a member of the House Financial Services Committee. So on January 20th, which is today, essentially, what does it say? The U.S. financial sector will be celebrating the resignation of Joe Biden's Security and Exchange Commission Chair, Gary Gensler. As a member of the House Financial Services Committee, I am well aware of Gensler's heavy-handed approach in stifling innovation and shackling the American economy's engine. His punitive stance was particularly damaging in the burgeoning field of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Under Gary's leadership, the SEC's enforcement-focused agenda frequently did more harm than good, and regulatory uncertainty was used to attack American crypto exchanges like Bittrex, Kraken, and Coinbase, with Bittrex explicitly citing the effects of Gensler's approach when it exited the U.S. market. And this is actually an extremely good point, is all of that regulation, whether it be applied through suppressing of crypto content on YouTube, the removal of ads, to whatever it may be, a lot of that was around the uncertainty. So even if we look at this as not full deregulation, but actual regulation being put into place where it's a clear-cut line of what you have to do and not have to do to participate within the industry, will be a net positive. And I do think that is on the way. It does go on to say that last year, who was this for again? I forgot. I was going to read this and I forgot who it was. Anyways, we'll go on down to, what was the other section? I lost all my notes on this. Anyways, so here's the big question. If you guys recall, back when Trump was in office previously, he was not crypto friendly. In fact, I'm kind of a single issue voter, so I was pretty much against his policies surrounding it. That has shifted, and that is mentioned here. During his first administration, President Trump's SEC worked collaboratively with crypto industry to enforce securities laws without alienating innovators. So that is saying previously, at least, it wasn't alienating them, and offering clear guidance through landmark initiatives like the DAO report and the framework for investment contract analysis of digital assets. Beyond the Biden administration's hostility to crypto, Chuck Schumer and Democrats in the Senate refused to consider FIT 21 after it passed the House with overwhelming bipartisan support. Moreover, in New York, the courts thwarted Governor Hochul's attempt to shutter Bitcoin miners by deploying the state's radical climate law. And this is where I heard some stuff today during the inauguration, all the events that I was very positive on. A lot of people said, well, there was no mention of crypto, etc. But there was something that was stated that is extremely important for us Bitcoin miners. Trump did say he is going to basically reduce energy costs across the board. And I think, and reduce regulations surrounding the production of energy, which means we will be getting cheaper energy, which means we can mine more, which means we can have a viable cryptocurrency mining business in the near future. And that was one of the big positives. We'll have to see what regulations get put into place in particular, but I am very, very excited for that in particular, which is the reduction of energy. As I've always said, the concept is a society's success is directly correlated with the amount of energy they can efficiently use. And obviously, Bitcoin mining offers a huge efficiency bump in energy production and usage because you have options to do things like curtailment so that when the actual grid needs more load, the Bitcoin miners can turn down, provide that load, and then suck it back up and remain financially viable. And this is all very important stuff. It does go in conclusion, say with President Trump's appointment of Paul Atkins as the next SEC chair, we can expect a more thoughtful and transparent approach to governance and policies that encourage innovation while safeguarding investors, setting the stage for the cryptocurrency and blockchain sector to thrive and the creation of high-paying new American jobs. We'll be able to move beyond the opportunities missed during the Biden administration and build a framework that positions the U.S. as a leader in the global digital economy. I gotta say, boys, I am bullish. I am very bullish. I do think the Trump and Melania meme tokens are basically resulting in a positive effect on cryptocurrency. And I think that we are basically at the very start of the next bull run, almost right on time, basically right on time, right? It's supposed to be like the end of 2025. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. If you would like to see more from this particular episode, take a look up here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support me directly, you can go to sonofatech.locals.com and become a member. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday.